We're going to go this way, and we're going to go right into the conference room.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so like I said, I'm Laura.
All right.
I'm going to be meeting with you today.
All right.
Okay, and we'll just have a quick meeting since Danielle isn't here, okay?
All right.
So the main thing I need to ask you is just about any police contact or how you're doing.
Yes, I had police contact, but someone is stopping me from remembering exactly what it was. I called Danielle and told her.
You did, okay. Do you know when it was?
Like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks.
But you let her know.
Yes.
Police contact. Just gonna. About a week ago. Do you remember where you were?
No. Someone is trying to. Okay, they're flashing an image in my left eye, and then stopping. Like, so I remember for a second, and then erasing it from my memory.
Okay, so you can't remember.
No.
Okay, but you did report it.
Yes.
Okay. And you work?
Yes.
And at UPS? I'm just
Yes.
because of your shirt.
Yes.
Okay, and things are going well there?
It's been the same experiences. I don't know how this happened, but I again found. Well, I don't know how it happens literally, but I do know that I found another group of the people who chose to hire me again. My coworkers are all in the gay community.
Okay.
So I when I go to work, the people I work with are in the gay community.
Okay.
The last job I had, everyone I worked with was in the gay community. The job before that. So for years, since I've been working, I have been working only with individuals who are in the gay community. So I apply for jobs, and the only place that will say, yes, you can work for us is someone who has a large group of people who are gay in their employment already. So while I'm working, there are a couple of coworkers who are doing things they're not supposed to do, like making quick changing their facial features to somebody who is in the gay community, and then changing it back, like they're playing psychological games, and then or bending over, pausing until you walk around the corner, and then thrusting their butts out, like pushing their butt out and then pushing it back in really quickly, like within half a second. And then, or what else happens? So I'm struggling to remember, but I tweet about it when I can. But there are people who I work with who are doing things they're not supposed to do, but they are gay, and I believe they think it's okay because they're gay to sexually harass someone. They think it's a part of their life, so it's not sexual harassment to them. It's being gay. So they think it's okay to do those things. And someone just electrocuted my legs, like sent chills.
How long ago? Just now?
Just 2 seconds. They just did it again, and then they just sent chills down my neck. It's
okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, it's technology, but while I'm at work, there are people doing inappropriate things, and I can't say anything because if I do, they're going to say, "Well, we don't want you to work here," and or have me fired. And there's very little cover or protection for anybody, not just me, when you're fired or let go. It's an at-will company, but if you're let go because they chose to, there's very little protection if you know it was because you complained or you didn't reciprocate. Well, you didn't get with you didn't socialize with the people you work with the way they want you to.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that I'm not. I know there's a what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't complain about it. So I just tell on Twitter as often as I can because I still have a job. I still need to work,
Yeah.
and I got bills to pay. So it's like someone's forcing me to think I have to have sex or I have to socialize with the gay community in order to have a job or in order to be a part of the society. And they're teaching me that by forcing me to work with people who are gay, who do things that no person would accept. Like you wouldn't accept somebody, nobody would accept someone who constantly harassed them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they took my ability to tell from me so that I felt like I was forced, like there's no other option
Mm-hmm.
but to allow these things to continue to happen. And hopefully they think over years that I will change my mind. So I'm sure
Yeah.
5 years ago when this started, when they started forcing me to work with people who are in the gay community, they thought 5 years later, after all of these experiences, I would just choose to begin to have sex with or socialize, which would be having sex with these people at this point. So 5 years later, they thought my mind would change. It hasn't. I'm still telling, and
Mm-hmm.
that's my experience at work.
Okay.
And it's also a similar experience outside of work in the community. These people are doing things they're not supposed to do. Like they're openly exposing themselves. Like they think it's funny to when I turn around and they know I'm about to turn around to show me something from the something that represents the gay community. Uh, um, some sign of be some similar behavior that gay people like to do, like your pants down and there's no underwear. There's just a man's butt hanging out,
Mm-hmm.
and like now there's more and more crack showing. So
Okay.
as that's my experiences everywhere I go. Or they stick their tongues out. There was a kid, a 5-year-old kid, who showed up at my job and stuck his tongue out of his mouth, and then it was his tongue was turned into an arrow. I don't know how that 5-year-old kid managed to do that, but his tongue was an arrow, and he rubbed it all the way around his mouth for at least 3 minutes.
Do you think he had something like sticky on his
No, he didn't have
mouth?
anything sticking on his mouth. He was he was staring at me in my eyes while I was doing my job. So I wasn't looking at him, but I could see what he was doing in the corner of my eyes. And then his tongue was a perfect arrow, and he was rubbing it around his lips. And then his dad was looking down at him
Mm-hmm.
and smiling, like he was a proud, like a very happy. Someone just said he was a proud father in my ears, and he told me I think his son. What are you going to do about it? I guess the idea is, what are you going to do about it? You know exactly what my son is doing. He's harassing you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. He's teaching his son that he can get away with harassing people the way he just harassed them. There's nothing anybody can do about it. So I ignored that behavior, but there's very similar behavior that's happening across the community that I've tried to tell. I'm not making this up. It's happening at work. It's happening in the community. It's happening everywhere I go. It just happened again. Someone said the word awesome several times, and that's been continuous. It's like someone is trying to make me mad by hearing the word awesome over and over again. It's like group harassment. So
Mm-hmm.
so you said it 4 times in 5 seconds. That is abnormal. Well, I recorded you.
Oh.
So so you did. So somebody is trying to purposefully insist that the word awesome should aggravate me.
I didn't mean to
No, I didn't
aggravate
say
you.
that. I said
Okay.
someone else, a psychologist, somebody who thinks they're really
Okay.
smart and could figure out a way to use words that would make somebody mad. And they think if a person hears the same word over and over again, and there's nothing they can do about it, they'll get upset. They'll retaliate. But I've chosen to tell. I do believe this is stupid. I do believe you putting technology in people was the dumbest mistake anybody could possibly make to fulfill any purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They believe it's fulfilling the safety, protecting the country. If we can control people to make sure they never make mistakes in positions that we need people to never make mistakes in, the country is safer.
Yeah.
but then there's also another group of people who use the technology for different purposes to get something out of somebody that they're not supposed to have. So there are people who abuse the technology to get what they want, even though the intentions were to protect the country, or so they say. These people they're in the gay community. They had no intentions to protect the country. They had the intentions of using that technology to hurt other people or control them.
Okay.
So my point is, there are people doing things they're not supposed to do, and someone just yells "shut up" in my left ear, and in a distant voice. So they put like a cell phone in different people across the country, and and these people have been using it to talk to me and tell me to have sex with gay people.
Okay.
And I've been tweeting about it for I think 3 years or 4, well, 2 years, and YouTube videos for 3 or 4 years. And I've been telling you guys that people have been harassing me in the community for like my entire probationary period. So for the last 6 years, and then while I was in prison, I was also being sexually harassed by the men in prison. I think someone sent me to prison because they believed I would have sex with gay people while I was in prison because there's no women. And if a man kept trying to have sex with you, you would eventually have sex with that person while you were in prison. That didn't happen. But the harassment didn't stop because I didn't want to have sex with them. They continue to do that. So I believe this is like a play, like some psychologist, some very smart person's idea of how to change another person or manipulate somebody to get them to do what you want them to do. And I've been telling, and that so far has been my life over the last 13 years.
Okay.
But I believe it goes back further. My childhood has lots of grooming,
Okay.
lots of child abuse, psychological and sexual child abuse that most people don't care, don't they do tell. I hear it in the news, but you have to be like a rich person, or friends of a rich person, to get your story told and get somebody in trouble for it.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear all that. Should we schedule a next appointment and Danielle should be able to meet with you?
Sure.
Okay, great. All right. So, is there a certain day that works better? Do Tuesdays work the best
Yes,
for you?
whatever time on Tuesday she has. The same. I think someone just said in my ears, "You pick the same time." But I was going to anyways. Say the same time.
You didn't need someone telling you?
No, I did not.
You already knew?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a memory thing. They electrocute your memory, and then you can't remember anything for like 2 seconds, and then they say words, tell you something, and then you remember that that's what you're gonna do anyways.
Okay.
So they think they're smart.
How does the 14th at 11 o'clock sound?
That sounds great.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Oops. You don't need that. Can I put it on this? This says Danielle's.
Sure.
Okay. So Tuesday, 11/14 at 11. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, it was really nice meeting you.
Yep. Thank you. I'll take the card.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Yep.
Oh,
This
right
is
here.
right here.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yep. So that was that Parole visit. I don't know who that woman was, but I hope maybe Danielle got in trouble. Because the woman told me, Danielle Dodge told me, I was not allowed to record anything in public. So by law, the First Amendment, in my opinion, says everything you can see, anything at all in public, you have a right to record. That's the law in this country. The law in this country dictates you have a right to record everything in public. The First Amendment right. You have a right to record everything you see in public. So, she told me I was not allowed to. If some dude was walking down the street and he was nude, she said I wasn't allowed to record that. But that's not true. You can't make a policy or a rule that infringes on the First Amendment right. The First Amendment right says a man is allowed to record all things, anybody's allowed to record all things they see in public. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's in public, you have a right to record it. And there are no rules or policies that can interfere with your right to record things. So Danielle, I'm sorry, Scarlett Johansson is gay, and she just told me to make sure the camera is looking at you, and then make sure the sun's on your face so we can actually see your face. And the dude walking down the street is probably in the gay community. I'm sorry, the dude walking down the street, you're supposed to be able to watch. So I wrote a complaint, and I told them that she told me I couldn't record things in public, which I'm supposed to be able to at all times. And I did you guys notice I didn't need this? Someone just told me that you don't actually take business cards from anybody, and since the woman told you when the appointment was going to be on camera, you didn't need a written notice. What you would need, and he just told me that the memory you require to know that you didn't need this card, they took from you, right? I hate business cards. I hate them. And the only reason I took this business card was because she wrote the date and the time of the appointment. But the truth is, you don't have to. Look at this cockroach. They always want me to see them all the time. Whenever I tell or whenever I report somebody, police officers show up somewhere so that I can see them. It's stalking. It's police stalking, and they use technology to do it. So the woman told me that I had to show this on camera. I had to the woman gave me this card, but I hate it. And I couldn't, for 2 seconds, I couldn't realize that I didn't need this card to write a report. Oh, and he just told me in my left ear while I was saying that the police officer is there to kill you. So if you want to keep telling, if you want to be, and you don't want to have sex with gay people, or if you can't take what they're doing to you, I will shoot you. Remember that police officers can shoot you. So do something stupid, and a police officer will shoot you so that you don't have to hear these voices or deal with the technology torture anymore. That's what they just said in my ear. So, but basically, this card was not necessary. I didn't need it anymore. I didn't need this card at all. It was on the camera the whole time. I have the date and the period on the camera. So if I really hate cards, I wouldn't need this card because it's recorded on camera. So that requires your memory and reasoning, right? So someone has they're telling me you made your point. Someone put technology in my body to stop me from realizing how to get what I want. It requires your memory and your thought, to figure out how can you get what you want. Your memory, somewhere in your memory is a way to figure out what you want. And I didn't need this card, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. No, I'm not. Someone just told me you should crumple that card up, and they stopped me from remembering what I would normally do. So they pause your memory and then speak to you, and then electrocute your brain so that you feel like you got to do something within 1 second. So you listen to what they say because it's the last thing you can hear, and there's electricity running through your brain. So they just tried to get me to crumble this card up. But I'm going to keep it because I think if I don't remember where the date is, at least I have this. I thought there was a kid over there who just said, "Shut up." Oh, there's a bunch of probably gay community members, angry white people that I'm telling over here on YouTube. They love the technology because it gives them the biggest advantage against black people in the entire country. They can't have their lifestyles if they're competing with 50 million more people who are just as smart and possibly stronger, more athletic, and all these racist thoughts they have about black people. They can't compete. So they were just yelling in the background about things that Like, I think right at the last second, I heard somebody say "shut up" while I was making a comment, and that's, you could say that's not, that has nothing to do with you. Hearing somebody yell the words "shut up" 2 blocks away has nothing to do with you. But if you are saying something, and then you just so happened to hear somebody yell "shut up" when you finish saying, when you finish speaking, like they were listening to you the whole time, say the words "shut up," it's you can't help but believe that possibly they were talking to you, because it was it was right at the right moment. And if you disagree, someone just said that it's hard to disagree with that. In my left ear, it's hard to imagine anything else. But I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get to work. It's like 20 minutes away. So bye.